everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report in Los Angeles, and I'm so happy to welcome Aaron Nichols from The Voice to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Aaron, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Good to be with you, Hillary. How you doing?
Really good. I want to congratulate you on getting the mic drop from your coach Reba after your knockout performance.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I did not see it coming, and you're very clear to see that on the screen. I was like, what's happening? But very, very proud and very humbled to get that. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And Aaron, I want to rewind to your blind audition of Chris Stapleton's Cold. Reba turned first. She gave you two thumbs up. And then Michael and Snoop spun at the end. I am going to echo Carson when he told your family that was amazing. Then Michael said, Reba's going to win with you. So, how did what happened differ from what you might have expected? And how did you make your decision on which coach to go with?
Oh man. Going in, I was already leaning towards Reba, but I knew that I could do well with any one of those coaches, in all honesty. Snoop was a very hard pull because I knew he knew how to market, and that's kind of my weak link in this industry. And Buble is just such a genuine guy, and I've heard a lot of stories about him working with artists after the fact. But at the end of the day, Reba turned first. Those blue eyes hit you, and she locked me in, man. I think that kind of helped make the decision. The seeing the coach that had the faith in you first, spin around that fast, and the other two waited to the end. They were also really high choices, but yeah, at that point, Reba already had me. But it
You
was
know, Reba, the way I saw it as a viewer, Reba didn't have to do that much. Like in her pitch to you compared to the other two coaches who really wanted you, she just basically
yeah,
said, Hey, Aaron, I want you on my team. And then you said,
yeah,
Oh, my wife is going to be upset if I don't go
yeah.
with Reba. So,
Yeah, it wouldn't be a a marriage ending problem, but I probably would have heard about it every day for the rest of my life. Yeah. So
well, you're in great hands with her. But let's talk about your battle round with Daron Lamique and how you prepped for it and what you guys learned from Reba doing that performance.
yeah, that song it was difficult. We were both like singing in that genre, so it was a song that we both could sing on our own in our own sets, but two very different voices. And I sang like me the first time in rehearsal, just like I usually do, all the grit and growl and all that the whole time. And then Reba kind of stopped me. He was like, "Hey, this needs to sound like a duet. If you want this to sound good live, you're gonna have to change your voice when you're harmonizing to fit him better." And I was like, "That's a great point." So I had to figure that out. But she still said, like, when it's your verse or when you have your moments by yourself, do your thing and shine, but try to, and that was difficult for me. It was like vocal gymnastics going from the growl thing that I'm so used to that I do, and then having to smooth it out to harmonize with somebody else that was way outside my bag of tricks, I thought, and then I just kept working with her. But that was really great advice. Singing to also make sure your partner doesn't sound or you both don't sound bad, and make sure the voices blend. That was very difficult. That was like that to me, that's the hardest round of the show. You don't pick the song. We did pick our partner, but you do have to change the most for that one round. But yeah, and I thought I was going home, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. But talking about getting some great advice, tell me about working with your mentors, Nick Jonas and Joe Walsh.
Yeah, Nick Jonas is already a legend. That guy is, I mean, he's in my eyes, when I heard about him, I was like, he's done the thing that Reba is also very known for, where she's bridged the gap of, acting, movies, TV, and then the huge music career. So he's one of those guys that if you had career questions, definitely someone and you want in the room to ask about it because he's done all that. So it was very intimidating having a superstar like that. I mean, Reba was already intimidating, but this is the second time I met her, so I got a little more comfortable. And right when that comfortability hits in, they throw Nick Jonas in the mix, and it's like back to square one. It's like, all right, new person. I have no idea how to navigate this. The amazing experience. That was the battle round. That was a little out of body for all those moments. Anytime you meet one of those mentors. Yeah, and then for the knockout round, we had the Joe Walsh, world famous guitar player and singer for the Eagles, and plus his insane solo career. And I was probably one of a few people in the room that knew who he was going in, because there's a lot of younger kids that might not know the Eagles or his solo stuff. But I was freaking out because I'm about to play a guitar solo and sing in front of one of my icons. This guy has been part of my music journey since the beginning. Some of the first songs I learned were those Eagles tunes, like Life in the Fast Lane and Hotel California, or I mean, even the Joe Walsh stuff, Rocky Mountain Way. Life's been good to me so far. Um, I walk in, and that was the second real out of body experience I've had since the blinds, where I was like, that's him. That's Joe Walsh, this figure I've built up so much in my head since childhood, and gave him a hug. I'm glad they caught it on camera, but I told him like one of the first like songs I learned at a guitar lesson was Life in the Fast Lane. He's just nodding at me. He's like, that's cool. And then to play guitar in front of him, and they didn't put this in the show, but during my guitar solo, I'm playing at rehearsal, and he's giving me these like fire fingers, like he's enjoying it, complimenting my guitar tone. I pretty much blacked out again for the second time since the blinds, because it's a lot to handle. A guitar legend and idol, like a huge fan of his going in, and he likes what you're doing. Just massive amounts of validation, and yeah, just eternally grateful for that moment.
Well, I'd love to
Yeah.
hear more about your musical background, your influences, and your performing history.
Oh man. Yeah, when you're in music as long as I have, that's a long story, but the gist of it was my mom noticed I had an ear for music when I was a kid, put me into piano lessons that I hated. My brother brought home an electric guitar one year, and when he wasn't around, I'd play it, and my dad taught me a couple songs and kept on taking off. She got me into lessons. Guitar just became that thing. I was hooked. I was addicted to it. That was all I did for so long. Got good enough to be a guitar player for like local private wedding bands in like the San Diego area when I moved. Kept doing that, and then one day, my favorite all-time singer, Mr. Chris Cornell, a rock singer, but I like those big rock, powerful voices. He passed away in 2017, and I covered a song of his, and I literally stumbled into this growl thing, that the natural way you're supposed to do it while covering that song. I had no idea I had that in me. And then I was like, oh, I'll start working on this a little bit. And then by 2019, I was getting hired for singing, and no one cared I played guitar anymore. So it's just weird. Moved to Nashville 2022, and the career just started kind of climbing up from there.
And it
I know
still is,
I'm a late bloomer.
it is still climbing, Aaron. And I really am looking forward to your next performance on the show. I want to wrap up our happy hour by raising a toast to you and your continued success on The Voice.
Thank you. Cheers, Hillary. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.
Cheers, Aaron.